Looking well, sir.
Likewise, S-Man.
3, 2, 1, go!
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome to the NBA playoffs on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. And folks, you can feel the fierceness, the intensity of this series setting the tone prior to Game 3. Moments away, it'll be the Chicago Bulls going up against the Indiana Pacers at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Checking out the Pacers, a dominating performance for them in Game 2, and they're looking to continue their hot streak tonight with another win. And tonight, a borderline must-win game. Kenny, you've been there. Talk about a team's mindset in this situation.
Well, in those championship years, like in '94, we had the home court, and we lost both games to Phoenix at home. Still came back. The local papers, you know what they called us?
Choke City.
Choke City, because it wasn't Clutch City, and then we changed it to Clutch City by ultimately winning Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals and went on to the NBA Finals.
Well, Kenny, in 2006 with the Heat, we almost went down 3-0 in the championship series.
Whoa.
We overcame a 13-point deficit in the last 6 minutes of Game 3, and they decided to hack a Shaq.
Wow.
So I'm at the free throw line, and I look up. My main man, Joel, from high school,
was
is
there?
giving me the motion and saying, follow through,
Follow
Big Daddy.
through?
Follow through, Big Daddy. And we went on to win it all.
Whoa, Joe must be a special guy in your life.
That's
He was
a
my high
story.
school point guard, 36-0, baby.
Yeah,
San Antonio Cole.
That is a story that isn't known to many people, and
Not
I'm
at
so
all.
glad that you shared it here.
Yes,
That's heartwarming.
That is hard.
Let's go to Kevin Harlan.
Round 1 continues with a heavy dose of citrus. The Chicago Bulls, with a Game 3 opportunity to dig themselves out of a 2-0 hole, they will need to bring all they can muster against the Indiana Pacers. Round 1 of the NBA playoffs continues.
can taste the excitement here in Indianapolis. Welcome, everyone, to Game 3 of this Eastern Conference Round 1 matchup. 2-0 so far. Perhaps the tide can turn in this one. Along with Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, I'm Kevin Harlan. Here with us, basketball expert and former late-night comedy writer. People don't know this, Bill Simmons.
Yeah, as soon as I left, Kimmel's show took off, so I think I was the reason.
You built the foundation for it, let's be honest.
I was there for the early years.
You said it was a very influential time in your life, a very good thing for you to do.
Oh, it was fantastic. I learned a lot. I learned how to not get my jokes on the air, and I learned a lot about humility.
Take a look at the Pacers. They've been dominating this series, winning the first 2 games on the road. With the win here, they've taken almost insurmountable 3-0 lead.
And guys, basically, I think they locked this series up with a win here tonight. They've taken the momentum, winning those first 2 on the road. Now on their home court, they're right where they want to be.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. So for Chicago right now, and down low, it's Markkanen and Carter. Murray out there with the great one, and it's Hutchinson in at the 3 slot. Now here is Holiday over Murray. The shot by Holiday, no good.
And it's not easy to get those stops at the rim, but he does a great job with it.
Yeah, he can make it look simple on the interior when it's really not. He knew exactly how to guard on the inside.
Domantas Sabonis, the son of the legendary Arvydas Sabonis. Bill, you saw Arvydas play. I was impressed with his game and called a lot of his games. When you think back to the time that the elder Sabonis was in the game, what do you remember?
Not much. I mean, we saw Sabonis at the end of his career, the equivalent of seeing like Dwayne Wade on the Miami last year or something. Sabonis in the 80s, by all accounts, was the most talented center, maybe other than Bill Walton, that we've seen for all-around centers. I still
That's
think,
quite a statement.
Yeah, I think Kareem, just for physical skills and the stuff he brought to the table, is still number 1. The skyhook is the greatest shot of all time. But Sabonis was like, could shoot from the outside. He was a Bill Walton-type passer, incredible rebounder, huge. Probably had the biggest head I've ever seen in person.
Huge.
It was just this big granite block of a head. And unfortunately, we didn't have League Pass back then. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't really have any way to see these guys. So you just kind of heard about the legend of Sabonis. Now you think about fast forward to 2018. Luka Doncic comes into the lottery, and we've all watched him. We go on YouTube. You can watch the EuroLeague finals on NBA TV.
Right.
And I have opinions on this guy. I had no opinions on Sabonis in the mid-'80s, just what people told me.
And discussing Sabonis and his unusual qualities, Bill, he had a vision game that played right into the way he operated. He saw so much of the floor.
Right, and was a sick athlete in the 80s. His knees and his feet started going on him, and he was a little like the Bill Walton thing. He was almost too big for basketball, but by all accounts, he just had the 5-tool flair.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close-range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
And you know what? He's a great player to run the pick and roll with. I mean, he operates really well in that set, and all he needs is a little bit of daylight, and the young fella is golden.
Oladipo, good. Bill, we know in your writing that you love to incorporate pop culture references. How did that begin with you?
Well, it began because in college, I was dropping them in columns, and people were responding. I think pop culture probably mattered more when I was in college in the 80s and 90s because, we didn't have the internet back then. It was harder to connect with people you didn't know. Basically, you had sports and pop culture and politics. Those were the 3 ways of I'm getting to know you. What are the 3 things we're going to talk about? I didn't want to talk about politics with anybody, so the other 2 things for me were sports, pop culture. I was also an only child in the 70s with only 5 or 6 TV channels watching Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, Sanford and Son, Jefferson's, Good Times, all that stuff. And, that stuff just soaks into your DNA, and that's it.
Here's Oladipo after the made shot from Lauri Markkanen. 5 to shoot. Durant just inside the line. He doesn't hit that one. Good work defensively by Carter. Here's the great one. The rebound by Turner.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
Holiday against Murray. And Turner kicks to Oladipo. Durant deciding where to go with it. That misses off the backboard.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
The Pacers pull it in. They are really pleased with the victory on Monday.
I mean, they were so impressive offensively, and when you do that, that can really help you on the road.
I think intensity is the key, right, Greg? When you play with energy on the offensive end, good things usually happen.
Bill, a top advisor for the U.S. High School Athletics and Activities Division, recommended that schools adopt esports programs. What's your take on that?
I'm all in. It's probably my son's only chance to go to college, so I really hope it happens. Now, listen, the world changes every decade.
I know.
And you got to change with it. And the reality is, esports is one of the biggest things we have now. And if you're under 15, you're way more likely to play video games and be good at that than you are to do anything else. So why wouldn't we be able to benefit from that? The whole esports in general, just the audiences they're getting, and as a spectator event, that's been building. So why wouldn't that work for college?
Thinking about how much sports video gaming has changed over the decades, Bill, can you imagine a 13, 14-year-old Bill Simmons with the 2K product? You would just be all over that, wouldn't you?
You have no idea, Kevin Harlan. I was there for every step of the video game revolution. I had an Intellivision and an Atari. I had Nintendo. I had Super Nintendo. I had all three of the first PlayStations.
You played them all the time.
I played entire Madden seasons on the treadmill when I was like in my early 30s. Try playing any video game on the treadmill. Try it and try not falling off. It's impossible.
I'm sure
I've been there every step of the way. I am pro esports. Basketball, I'm jealous of the people who can play 2K well, because there's just, not sound like an old guy, but so many buttons and so many things to remember. I'm always so impressed when people just remember all the combinations and stuff. I'm jealous.
Like your son does it.
My son can do it.
I know it.
But I could have done it.
I know you could have.
I want to take 1984 me out of a time machine and just give me this game. I would have unleashed.
Yeah, but 13-year-old Bill Simmons would like what 40-year-old Bill Simmons is.
13-year-old Bill Simmons would be amazed that 48-year-old Bill Simmons was getting paid to do anything. He would really be excited about that. Just that he wasn't living at home. We would have been fired up.
Bill, you've done quite a few player interviews over your life, and I'm sure there are some guys that have surprised you with what they've got to say.
Yeah. I think we're in a really cool generation with basketball players where they're these really thoughtful guys who aren't afraid to share stuff. You know, some of the guys try to protect their images and their manufactured reputations, I would say, to some degree, but for the most part, the candidness of some of these guys, you can't hide on a podcast. Mm-hmm. If I have you for an hour, you're not going to be able to dodge that. You're going to have to.
You challenge people, that's the beauty of the podcast.
Well, and I don't have notes, so I do it. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and we're going. And you got to be ready.
That's how Larry King used to do it. Yeah.
So some guys are ready. Like Durant was great. Durant was ready to talk, and we did 5 podcasts, and everything's on the table with him. But my favorites are, somebody like Kyrie came in, really smart, kind of sort of ready to go, but not totally, but then got into it. And those are usually the best ones.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. Jakob Poeltl's checked in for Markkanen. Here's Ross. Knocks down the 10-footer. want to get back to what we were chatting about, Bill, with how today's NBA players are so media ready, whether it be interviews or social media. Your take is really interesting.
I think in general, all these guys, the guys now are so used to talking to people and being in front of people, and they're not surprised by questions, and they know how to handle themselves. They know how to not get in trouble, and they're comfortable.
Maybe kind of grown up with you, though, too. You know what? You've been relevant for many years.
Well,
they've grown up with your stuff.
To be honest, a lot of them just know me as the white guy on NBA Countdown. They might not have read me, but they remember like that year I was with Jalen Rose. But what's weird is
I think you'd be surprised. More of I think.
Well, you know this too. When you're on TV, the credibility you get from being on TV, I wasn't prepared for within the NBA.
Oh, really?
I think that's true. Yeah, I think it's like, oh, he's on TV, he's okay. And maybe they don't agree with you all the time, but you've passed some imaginary checkpoint with those guys.
Well, you may think that TV was your validation. This is going to be your validation.
Oh, 100%.
2K. This is it. I'm stamping you right now.
This is better than winning a Pulitzer Prize.
And the pass to Barry. There's 37 seconds left to play here in the first. Can't hit from in close.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard. And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? You took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
Here's Lloyd. And the bucket is good. Three-point play chance here for him. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
One shot, gentlemen.
We've got 13 seconds left here in the first quarter. Pass to Ross. He kicks to Pirtle. Levine inside the three-point line. Great D on that shot, and it's off the mark. Back right after this. And we're set to get started again for the next bit of action in this game 3. And when you consider how the Pacers are doing, guys, what do you think?
They've gotten that perimeter game going in that first, and for me, that was the difference.
It was huge, no doubt, and it seems like they simply can't miss from downtown.
So for Chicago right now, they've got Pirtle. Levine is out there with Riley. Then it's Jabari Parker, and it's Ross in at the small forward position. Bill, you've watched the NBA evolve. Talk about some of the biggest changes over the last decade you've seen.
The three-point line and the threes or foul shots philosophy, I think, is the biggest thing. Just the pace of the game has really improved, and to a really pleasing way for fans. Like just what Steve Nash was doing last decade and those Suns teams, that everybody's playing that way now. I think the social media and the players basically getting rid of the wall between them and the fans, using social media, using Instagram, and we just feel like we know these guys better. And their ability to control their own message now versus where they were 10 years ago. Huge. It all started with the decision in LeBron James and has carried through this whole decade. And these guys now, they can get whatever message out they want. They can criticize the president. They can criticize their own team. They can ask for a trade. Mm-hmm. If they get called out by some writer or somebody who writes a hit piece, they can go back at the guy and sick all their fans on the writer.
Going back to our topic from a moment ago, Bill, you mentioned the interaction between players and social media and how that's become a new facet, a skill we're seeing daily from players.
there's just way more accountability now. And I'm really impressed by how polished the guys are that come in the league now. And I think the LeBron generation, LeBron, Wade, Chris Bosh, some of those guys from the last generation that came up and became vets and really knew how, Paul Pierce, who knew how to handle their business. Now these new guys come in, they're 19, 20 years old, and they act like they're 30. I'm sure you see it at the games.
Shocking.
Whereas in the 90s, it was a free-for-all. You had these guys who, if you gave them a live mic, you were terrified. And now these guys are 19 years old,
Polished.
giving, long interviews to reporters. It's like, how are you doing this?
Tatum in particular is very
Tatum's
impressive.
already good at being a bad interview. He doesn't say anything. He knows how to dodge any question. It's like, you're 19. How do you know how to do this?
Unbelievable. Riley can't hit.
Good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Well, if he wasn't there, that shot's going in. Love the effort on the defensive end.
Bill, we know about the love affair you have with the NBA, and you've written about it for so long. Started with the $4 ticket in Boston with your dad.
Yeah, my dad bought season tickets for the 1973-74 Boston Celtics, and it was only one ticket. And I think it was $4 a game, probably like $160 total. And he used to carry me in mainly because they didn't want to pay for a babysitter. So I started going to games that year, probably sleeping through a lot of them, and they won the title.
How old were you in 72?
So I was 4.
4 years old.
I'm not going to lie, I don't remember anything from that season. The first season I remember is the year later when they lost before the finals to Washington. And then the year later they won the famous finals against Phoenix, the triple overtime game. I was there.
Was Cowens on that team?
Cowens, Havlicek, JoJo White.
Yep.
And I was at the triple overtime game in the 76 finals. It was probably the most famous NBA game ever. The kids out there now would nominate like Game 7, 2016 or something. But triple overtime game was the most famous game ever. And I slept through the entire second half in the first overtime.
Oh, no.
But then woke up because everybody was standing the whole second overtime, so I had to get up.
Ross, and he converts the layup. Ross has got his third basket of the night.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Here's Leaf. True on the 14-footer. And the Pacers lead by 4.
Good job working the in-between area.
Yeah, I think if the defense is going to give that to him, he's got to take the opportunity. He uses his size and high release point on the jumper.
Now here's Ross. 6 points for him. Riley kicks to Ross. Shot clock at 6. Pulls up from the corner. And it's off the back rim. No good.
Kicking himself on that one. That is the shot he wanted.
Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Carter, he's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. Markkanen comes in for Jabari Parker. The great ones checked in for Ross. And Murray subbed in for Riley. Free throw good, Levine. Bill, Commissioner Adam Silver believes the 2K Esports League will have the staying power of the NBA, WNBA, the G League. It's a pretty powerful comment to make.
And I hope he's right because I want to be the lead color guy. I want us to be the team. Why can't it be us, Kevin Harlan?
Are you kidding me?
Let's do that. Cut me the check.
Sign
As Rasheed
me
Wallace
up.
would say, CTC. Cut the check.
Bill Simmons is here.
I'm ready.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. The great one in that last game against the Pacers delivered in a big way. He scored 26 points and made them pay for the fouls, getting a lot of free throw attempts. That game was just the latest example of how hot he's been. We'll see if anyone can cool him down tonight, Kevin.
Appreciate it, David. After all the good work he did in that last game, he's got plenty to build on here tonight.
Except that the D is going to be all over him, Kevin. They're aware of what he did last time out, and they're going to be doing everything they can to keep him in check.
Well, and that could be a big positive for them, Greg, because while he's drawing all that attention, a few of his teammates might get a little bit more space to operate.
And getting to the line and hitting your free throws, a good way to get back into the game. It stops the clock and extends the game and allows you the opportunity to set your defense. They've been perfect in the line so far here in the second quarter.
Now here's Durant. Out to Turner. Passes it to Oladipo. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Bulls trail by 5. Pass to Hutchison. Back to Murray. Here's the great one. He's got 7. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Miles Turner. Bill, several of your books have been bestsellers. How did it feel to see your work so well received around the world?
I think I was really happy that the basketball book did well because I spent a long time writing it, and it was 700 pages. And when it got mailed to me, it was so big, I thought people would just be terrified of it. And, you know, it turns out...
I think they embraced the
size.
I
think they did. They liked it. I designed it for people to be able to put on their toilet or bring on an airplane or whatever they want to do with it. But I was always amazed that there wasn't a basketball book that tried to kind of group all these other books and some of the opinions and all the misinformation. Like the fact that, honestly, the reason I wanted to write the book was just that people thought Will Chamberlain was better than Bill Russell. And yet every single thing written in the 60s was that Bill Russell was better. And all the players would say Bill Russell was better. And when they played together, Bill Russell's team won. So it's like, how do we get to the point where people think Will Chamberlain was better? So it was that and some other stuff that made me want to write the book.
Here's the great one. After the made shot from Victor Oladipo. Count that bucket. And it's 8 points for Lauri Markkanen.
Hey, look, you got to keep Markkanen out of the paint. He's just too big on that block and imposes his will.
The pass to Anabogu. Carter with the block. Here's the great one. Unable to get that one. So the Pacers will take it the other way.
I'll tell you, it'd be a big help if he could snap out of this cold streak. His shooting has been hurting them.
And the foul called on the great one. That'll be his second foul of the game. Sabonis, the pass to Durant. And then Durant with the jam.
Well, you want to try to stay between Kevin Durant and the basket because he will throw it down if he gets near the cup.
Here's the great one, defended by Sabonis.
And that's such solid, fundamental basketball on display right there, guys.
You talk about it all the time, Greg. Yeah, great use of the pick to set up the dunk.
You know, that's why we say move without the basketball. You'll be rewarded.
Down low.
Well, the multi-time scoring champion Kevin Durant is showing you he has got as complete a game as there is in the NBA. What a pretty pass.
And a tremendous Unleash Chaos replay coming to you courtesy of Under Armour Hover Habit. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. 1:52 left to play in the first half. Here's the great one. He's got 10. They get a hand on it. Takes the 13-footer, rebounded by Anabogu.
Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
Taylor against Holiday. To the paint, here's Anabogu.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. Well, we want to thank the sports guy for being here. Enlightening as always. Bill, what a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I hope my son was impressed. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm sure he was. Door is always a spirited discussion when Bill's involved. Not afraid to share his personal views.
Yes, Kevin, he has broken the internet once or twice. This guy is no stranger to controversy. But I will say this, he is passionate about the NBA.
Here's Sabonis after the made shot from the great one. 4 on the shot clock. Sabonis kicks to Holiday. Hits the three-point bomb. Holiday's got 7 points.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Here's the great one, guarded by Oladipo. Here's Carter. The Pacers pull it in. And Abogu's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. A shot by Holiday. Nobody around. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
And what I love about Oladipo, he does such a great job playing within the context of the offense. If you're open, he will find you.
Here's the great one, guarded by Oladipo. The great one passes to Taylor. Not really his range, and it's off target.
Well, you're trying to answer the 3, but you force up a...
And so it's Indiana enjoying a 12-point lead. And we welcome you back to our coverage of round 1 in the NBA playoffs. Without question, the great one displaying his skills today.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
I don't think you could ask for anything more from this guy. He has been fantastic to start this one.
They've got Oladipo. Sabonis is out there with Durant, and it's Holiday in at the point. They're the group for Nate McMillan starting the second half. Here's the great one. To the middle. Here's Carter. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Carter's got his first points of the night. And Holiday kicks to Leaf. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got 3 assists now in this one. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for Chicago. It's a 14-point game. Here's the great one, guarded by Oladipo. Here's the great one. Sabonis grabs the board.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Durant against Markkanen. Durant kicks to Holiday. Floats one up. Carter with the block. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
And you can blame it on a terrible defensive breakdown, one that could possibly swing the momentum here.
Now here's Durant. At the top of the key, Sabonis. Has to leave. Carter pulls it in. Carter's got his 6th rebound on the night. Holiday attacking. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. The Pacers shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game. That's good from Holiday. Miles Turner, he's checked in for the Pacers. He hits both from the stripe.
Boy, he's just been so consistent, right? I mean, every time he's gotten to the stripe, he's delivered. This is great stuff.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. Bulls trail by 14. Murray, the pass to the great one. Durant sends it back.
Boy, the long arms of Kevin Durant twice on the pipes.
The Pacers making a switch here. Napier's checked in, and the Bulls making a change also. Ross is checked in. Parker with the bounce pass. 5 on the clock. The baseline J. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
Holiday up top, covered by Parker. And he gets the bucket. Holiday's got 14 points for the game.
Not surprised at all. He's shooting it well and scoring points in bunches.
Ross kicks to Murray. Pass to Carter. Back to Murray. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Here's Ross. And Durant sends it back. to the middle. Turner dishes to Napier. Murray against Holiday. Pass to Durant. And they pick up 2. He has 6.
I think your best option defensively is to try to keep the ball out of Durant's hands, because if he's that close, he will convert.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Bean passes to Carter. Kick out to Levine. Over Holiday. Holiday with the block. Down low and out of bounds as Chicago gains possession. Hurdle, he is checked in for the Bulls. Bulls trail by 18. Outside, Levine. The pass to Ross. Murray outside. Another miss, and they've really hit a rough patch here.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Napier finds Turner. Right side, Durant. Lets it go with a 3. And Indiana, another 3.
And they're just dominating on both ends. And it's reflected now in the score.
No, absolutely, Greg. They were absolutely rolling in sync totally on both the offensive and defensive ends.
Now here's Ross. He has 6. Parker kicks to Ross. Pulls it up. Jump shot is good. Ross has got 8. Indiana leading by 19. Napier passes to Durant. Let's go. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Pass to Parker. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. This is his first free throw of the game.
Shoot 2.
He misses the free throw. Some changes for Chicago. Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. Riley comes in for Ross. And Isaiah Taylor's subbed in for DeJounte Murray. And he's good on the second. Now here's Napier. 8 points for him. Outside Durant. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Well, Kevin Durant is used to absorbing contact on the way up, and when he's this deep, it really puts the defense in a bind.
He'll take his 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the game right here. That's good from Durant.
What you love about Kevin Durant is he's an MVP level candidate every year, and yet there's a hunger and a thirst to get better at basketball. This is so fun to watch.
Durant nails both of them.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Bulls trail by 20. Passes it to Riley. Kicks it to Markkanen. Taylor taking his time here. Parker up top. From the top of the key, he buries it. Parker's got his second bucket of the night.
Boy, Kev, I love his game. He can hurt you in so many different ways.
Durant against Parker. Shoots over Markkanen. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. Bulls trail by 18. Pass to Taylor. The rebound by Turner. And here's Napier. He'll bring it up for Indiana. Lloyd the pass to Napier. There's the dish to Durant. Five to shoot. 2 points. That one goes. Durant's got 9 points now in the quarter.
He's made obvious improvements since the half, really getting into an offensive groove.
The pass to Riley. Now here's Levine. Kevin Durant with the rebound. Durant's got his 4th rebound in this one. Barry pass to Durant. And that one is good.
I'll tell you, this guy will not stop pouring it on. It doesn't matter what approach they've tried to use against him. He has had an answer for everything.
This is his 3rd trip to the free throw line. Anabogu's checked in for the Pacers. Taylor still looking for his first bucket in this one. He kicks it to Markkanen. Shoots the 3. Good on the 3-point shot.
And a good judge of spacing. Sees he can get it off over the taller man.
I'll tell you, he did a nice job feeling the defense out, rising up with ease from the perimeter.
Back to Turner. Count it.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Here is Riley. He's got 5. Here's Hutchison. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Riley can't hit.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat. Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Well, that's just stellar interior defense. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Shot by Taylor, no good. Indiana leading by 22. It's Durant on the wing. He's got 16. Pass to Barry. Outside Turner. He dishes it to Napier. Over Taylor. And it's Napier missing.
Defensive positioning so important, and he could not have played him better there.
Parker inside. And Riley gets it to go. 7 points in the game.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, he went all in there. He embraces the challenge and somehow finishes with the layup.
Now, here's Napier. 8 points for him. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Kicks it to Durant. Got a piece of it. He got it up. That shot, no good. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. It's the Pacers running away with it. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Indianapolis. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, making the game easy for your teammates, Greg. All about putting them in a position to score. That's pretty.
And welcome back to the NBA playoffs as we get ready to continue with this round one matchup. Taking a look at the Bulls. And down low, it's Markkanen and Carter. Taylor is out there with the great one. And it's Hutchinson in at the small forward. Buries it from three-point range. And here is Taylor. Passes to the great one. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. It's going to be on Victor Oladipo. That one is off. Good on the second free throw. Pacers leading by 22. Holiday with it. Pass to Anunoby. The 10-footer. And the Pacers tack on two more.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Here's the great one. Can't hit that one. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Down low. Here's Anunoby. Taylor with the rebound.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus. Not good.
Makes it 2 points there from the great one.
Well, the height advantage in this matchup becomes a big factor when he's in the low box.
Here's Holiday after the made shot from the great one. Holiday surveying the floor. 5 on the clock. Outside Turner. Indiana needs to get a shot off. On its way from Oladipo for two. That one a little long.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Taylor's shot, good.
I'd say that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
Taylor against Holiday. The pass to Anunoby. Out to the right wing. Oladipo for three. It falls for his fifth field goal of the night. Shooting 5 for 8.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
But there's no resistance, right? They're allowing them to get any kind of shot they want close. That simply can't happen.
Sabonis, he's checked in for Anunoby. And a change for the Bulls. Murray's checked in. To the paint. Here's Markkanen. Banked in off the glass.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
Holiday against Murray. Outside Holiday. Carter with the block. They retain possession. Yep, that one goes in there. And it's 8 points for Miles Turner. For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. It's stolen by Oladipo. For the finish. And finished off by Oladipo.
Love how alert Oladipo is on the defensive end, using that impressive reach to mess with the passing lanes.
Here's the great one, guarded by Oladipo. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to be on Miles Turner. The first one falls. Both free throws good from the great one. Pacers leading by 23. Pass to Leaf. Dishes it to Clark. And the layup's good off the glass.
I love this approach. Despite the lead, still attacking, adding fuel to the fire.
They are absolutely relentless right now, Craig. There's no end in sight. They are going for it.
Oh, fellas, that was vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one. Passes it to Leaf. Back to Clark. To the paint. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
And you know what? Very close to a three-point play right there.
So both teams making some changes here. 2 shots. And both free throws good for White. And Chicago has possession. Here's the great one. From the wing. Wow, way off on that one.
Hey, we're not seeing the best quarter by this guy, and he's lost his feel a little bit.
Murray against White. Six on the shot clock, and DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. Here's the great one, guarded by Oladipo. It's stolen by Oladipo, and it's Oladipo with the jam.
My goodness, it's hard to stay with Oladipo in transition. The speed, the quickness can be overwhelming.
The great one passes to Murray. Here's the great one, guarded by Holiday. Here's the great one. Shot is good off the back rim and in. The great one's got 7 points for the quarter.
Better to be lucky than good. Got that shot to fall.
Holiday dishes to Durant. Back to Holiday. Out to Turner. Uncovered. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got his 5th assist in this one. Murray, the pass to the great one. Pass to Carter. And again, Chicago turns it over. Indiana's gone 7 of 11 from deep tonight, using the three-pointer to their advantage. Feeds to Oladipo. Over in the corner, Turner. The pass to Leaf. Shot clock at 5. Basket good.
You can see Turner evolving as a passer. He wants to set his teammates up. That's a pretty look.
Pass to the great one.
Two minutes.
And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Kicks to Turner. And it's slammed in by Turner.
And this is why Miles Turner is such a high percentage scorer. You combine length, athleticism, and basketball skills. Good luck with that, defense.
Here's the great one. 1:37 left in the fourth quarter. Takes a shot at the elbow. Kevin Durant with the rebound. Durant's got 7 rebounds in the game.
And game 3 will go in the record books here. Lots of energy out there tonight, and an important win for Indiana.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And as one might have guessed coming into this game, it was indeed another big game tonight for Kevin Durant.
He was really important under the basket, making the plays down low and getting position to pull in rebounds.
And Chicago has possession following the miss by Miles Turner. And And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
Well, he just gets ahead of himself and throws it away, right? You've got to have better focus than that.
The Pacers making a switch here. Napier's checked in. Passes it to Leaf. To the inside. Pirtle with the steal. Inside. Out of bounds. Indiana takes possession.
Well, he's obviously anticipating different movement there. And instead of an easy connection, the pass sails straight into the front row.
White, he's checked in for Indiana. And here's Napier. He'll bring it up for the Indiana Pacers. 32 seconds left in the game. Pass to Leaf. Clock at 6. Launches a 3. Riley grabs the miss. Here's the great one. And stolen by Napier. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. You have to think at this point, up 3-zip, it's only a matter of time now.